Welcome back to the channel and thank you for watching, and please do smash that like button on the way in. So in this video, I thought it might be interesting to remind you of some of Johnny Depp's testimony in court, or rather the way that he was being cross-examined in respect of the UK trial, and then compare that with what Elaine was saying in interviews, because she was spinning, if you like, without being disrespectful, the case about the UK judgment in the fact that it was a legal decision of the judge not to tell, or not to allow anyone to tell, the jury of the decision in the UK trial. Now, clearly, it was allowed to question Johnny Depp and other witnesses about what happened and the fact that there was a UK trial, but not to tell the jury of the judgment, because obviously that would prejudice the jury's mind if they knew there was a judgment and so on. So watch this clip first of Elaine telling the media that she was not allowed, or they were not allowed, to tell the jury of the UK verdict. And then immediately afterwards, the cross-examination section of Johnny Depp, where they are asking him directly about the UK trial, albeit not the judgment. And there is one objection from Johnny's lawyers, which I will point out when we get to it.
But you have to remember, it's a tale of two trials. All the evidence came in the UK. Mr. Depp brought that one. The burden of proof was on the son in the UK, because they had called him a wife beater and talked about the domestic violence. He had his opportunity to tell the truth then. And a 3-week trial, he lost. The judge found 12 acts of domestic violence, including sexual violence. And that came out November 2, 2020. We weren't allowed to tell the jury that.
Now, Mr. Depp, you testified, and I wrote it down before lunch. You said, Ms. Myers asked you something about, how does it feel to make you, or how does it feel to be here? You said, I've been living with it for 6 years and waiting to be able to get the truth out. Remember saying that? Yes. You also said, I've spoken up for what I've been carrying on my back. Something to that effect. You remember saying that? Yes. And you've claimed several times in this proceeding, Mr. Depp, that this trial is your first chance to tell your story, haven't you? Yes, sir. But that's just not true, is it, Mr. Depp? That's not true.
No, for me it is true.
Okay, well, here's the thing. The fact is, Mr. Depp, when Dan Wooten wrote an article that was published in The Sun calling you a wife beater, you brought a lawsuit against The Sun in June of 2018, correct?
Yes, I brought it.
And that was 6 months before Ms. Heard ever wrote her op-ed, correct?
I don't know.
And in the summer of 2020, there was a several-week trial in London against The Sun, correct?
Ms. Heard was not a party to that trial.
Not my question, Mr. Depp. In the article that The Sun wrote that you sued over, you sued for Mr. Wooten calling you a wife beater, correct?
Objection asked and answered. Sustained. Next question.
And in the trial that you subsequently brought, you called a lot of witnesses, right?
I don't know what a lot is. I don't know.
Many people testified on both sides of the trial, correct?
Yes, many people.
And many exhibits were introduced, correct?
Like a trial, yes.
And you, just like in this trial, you were on the stand for several days in that trial, correct?
Yes, sir, I was.
And that trial involved the same factual issues that you are litigating here, which is whether you committed domestic abuse against Amber Heard.
Sustain the objection. Next question.
So there's the objection. You can hear the objection that it is a legal issue, because if Johnny Depp were to fully answer the question, it would reveal that there was a UK judgment and so on. And quite frankly, that would most likely have led to a mistrial, because it would mean that something that was inadmissible, i.e. the UK judgment, would have come out in the US trial. So quite likely that would lead to a mistrial, and the whole thing would have to be started over again. But an interesting thing as well, that Elaine and Amber have both essentially put out for their version of the story after the event, is that this trial was essentially played out on social media, and that social media informed the jury, and media research and so on confused the jury, led the jury, swayed the jury, or whatever they might want to say. However, as I've said in previous videos, the two cannot be both true. Either they were swayed by social media and would have found out about the UK judgment, particularly because Johnny Depp was cross-examined on this UK judgment and the UK trial. If they were so minded, they would have gone away and said, what's all this UK trial about? And they would have Googled it, searched it, found it, and of course found the judgment. It was splattered all over the newspapers that he lost this trial in the UK. So A, if the jury were so minded to look this up on social media, they would have found it anyway. And B, reinforcing A, because Johnny Depp was cross-examined about that very trial, just not the judgment, then again, if they were so minded to look on social media, they would have Googled and looked up the trial, therefore the result, therefore been swayed. And if they did, and they knew that, and Elaine is so confident that they did that, then the only conclusion that she could come to is that they did that, they looked it up, they found the judgment and decided in Johnny Depp's favour anyway. So either way you look at it, it's good for Johnny Depp, bad for Amber, because either they looked it up and they found that even though there was a UK judgment, they took their judgment having heard all of the evidence and decided against Amber and didn't believe Amber, or they did their duty as a jury, they listened to the cross-examination of Johnny Depp on that trial, knew that there was a trial clearly about the same issues in the UK, but didn't know about the judgment, and then of course came to the verdict that they did. So I, for one, don't think that it's really right that Elaine is sort of spinning this element in a legal sense. So I'm here to explain that little bit of it as to why there was a legal technicality about not letting the jury know about the verdict. But the trial, they were obviously free to cross-examine on. I thought you might find that interesting, and you might want to go back, rewind this video, rewatch that testimony, rewatch Elaine's interview portions, and see what you think, and let me know in the comments. And in the meantime, I really thank you for watching. Please smash the like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.